Hello, my name's Nathan Batchelor, and I'm an average animator, and I'm rigging. What I've been doing is I've been working on the weights as a whole. I don't know how to use this. Um, so that's what I've been using. Of course, is all in Blender. I love using Blender. It's a great program. And this is what I currently have rigged. So I'm using Rigify. And so I used my own version. So I used the arms, the torso, legs. Those are all the same. It's always such a nice program, in my opinion. Stop it. That's weird. Anyway, so. Oh, great. I need to reweight the jaw again? I thought I had that. Hold on. There is no. What's that? Oh, don't tell me. Oh, man. Alright, I'm gonna just reopen this. I was certain I had a jaw working there. That's so odd. And I thought I had these weighted too. What on earth is going on? Why is There's no lip weighting? You've got to be kidding me. Oh, great. I might have just discovered a problem. Well, thank you, viewers, for being there to see me screw up. Oh, my goodness. That's so bad. What on earth is going on? Why? Ah! Why are the ears not working? These are deformed. They should be deformed. Why aren't they deformed? That's so weird. I don't understand. Why are you being so dumb? Hold on. Yeah, that's you should be working just fine. Why am I doing this? Why do you do this to me? I'm gonna just reparent. What's that gonna do? Please don't kill it. Come on. Alright, so when you're parenting your mesh to a rig, you click the mesh first, then the rig, hit Control P. And then you set to automatic weights. Now automatic weights, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're automatic. And then you've got envelope weights. That's if you have a skeleton that is made to look like an envelope. That's its own thing. It's useful in its own ways. And empty groups, which is you get your own empty vertex groups. So I'm going to do automatic here. And it looks like the weighting is working. No, it's not entirely working. Yeah, not entirely working. The lips look like they're working. Looks like it's only the ears that need some fixing here. Always save your work. And always save multiple iterations, because sometimes when you're working, a file crashes, and then you have to save and open up a new version. And so it's something. It works in Maya, Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, and Blender, all of them. So it's always good to save multiple iterations. So when you're doing your weight painting, something you want to do is you want to have your mirror tool on, and you want to have it locked. Not necessarily locked to relative, but for the most part, you want it set to auto normalize. So what that does is if you're painting on, let's say I'm painting over here. If I was painting over here, what it would mean is first it's mirrored on the other side, and also the weights get transferred over. I'm not in the mental state of mind to properly explain it all, but the main gist is it's something you want to have. It's something you want to have on. And then there are moments you want to turn it off, but we can worry about that later. But anyway, so I like having it set to faces or vertex, and then just hit A to toggle it. And sometimes what you can do, a little fun thing you can do when you're rigging, is you can actually just select the faces that you want to affect. Select the faces you want to weight paint. Whoops. And when you go back, those will be the only ones affected. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Control I, set it inverse. So what I'm going to do is hit Shift K. Now what that does is it floods all the weights. And so now I'm going to hit Control I again, and I'm going to set this to 100 and hit Shift K again. Now Shift K, that's where you set the weight. It's like a paint bucket of sorts. So now if I go back here, I try to reset the weight, play with the ears are working correctly again. Now let me see where those weights went. Alright, so that's something we can't have. Is it this one? Is it this one? Alright, so the eyebrows are controlling too much of the head. So how are we going to fix that? What we're going to do is we're going to go into our weight painting mode, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and select, say, this much. Maybe select a little more. I'm just getting rid of some. Interesting thing, when you're using the C, when you hit C on the keyboard, it allows you to do a quick circle select, and when you left click, of course it selects, but when you middle click, it erases selection. So it's actually kind of nice. So I'll go ahead and go to head. Oi, that's right, spine. You want to go to spine because in Rigify, for some reason, it is only set to spine. But this is the head, as you can see. Okay, it looks like the weighting is set. But what you can do is, let me see, go to ear here. What you can do if your weighting's a little finicky and the distribution's off is you can go to one of them where the weighting is the way you want it and set it to normalize all. And so what that should do is that should set it so that the weights are right. I don't understand why the weights are like this over here. Let me see. Okay, that's a bit odd. Let's see, take you, put you up here, because we want that there. Okay, good. So everything's fixed now. Alright, so there was just a little weighting finickiness, and now it's fixed. That's another thing about when you're rigging or doing anything in a program. Sometimes you do something and it breaks, and you don't know how, and then you do something and then it gets fixed. And you don't know how. And so it's just a matter of taking it, if you will. But as we can see here, we got some weights being affected down here, some of the cheek. So I'm going to go here, go back to my vertexes, go to eyebrow, and go to the eyebrow, hit brow, and we're going to see which ones are affecting which. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do, of course, is just go, set our weight to 0, and then get rid of it. And of course save, because we are chronic savers. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Perfect. Eyebrows are only affecting the eyebrows, and that's what we want. Lovely. Ears are normal. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a gradient on the ears. Ooh, can you hear me better now? I think you should. me see. The OBS is working. That's nice. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my line select, select the ears. Oi, work with me. Thank you. Go back, set that to vertices. Perfect. Then go back to weight painting. And now I'll set this to, let's say, 0.5. Shift K. Now, how does that work? Let me see. Oh, you know, I think that'll be fine. Because this is the way how it's going to be rendered, and we don't need to worry too much about it. See, when you're rigging or working on any project, you have to take into account, okay, how much effort are you actually going to put into it, and how much you're going to use a certain object or feature. If you're not going to use it very much, then you don't need to put as much effort into it than you would for something else. So for this, I think I'm going to move the bone a little bit, regenerate everything. And let me see. Yeah, I'm happier with that positioning. Fun thing about Rigify is you can take the bones. These are your set bones, the bones you use. So this is the skeleton I used for my placement of all the bones. And you can reposition them wherever you want. Go down here and hit regenerate. Oh, what? Oh, wait, that's right. It's because I was in pose mode. If I did this in edit mode, go back to object, regenerate. It regenerates the bones in that new location. However, the weight painting remains the same. So if you got a problem with your rig, you can reposition the bone placement. You can reposition them, regenerate them, and retain all your same weighting. However, if you have your own constraints, let's say I put a copy location restraint here. I set that from world to local space, local to local space, offset, and I put that to 0.5. Let's say I do that here. And so we have this control following. If I was to say regenerate the rig, that constraint gets destroyed. So anytime you regenerate a rig, understand that your constraints will be destroyed, but your weighting will remain the same. And so that's something to keep in mind. All right, so got most of the general stuff done. We got the hand here. One of the things I love about Rigify is the fingers, because you can scale these down. You can scale these down. I just love the way how that works. It's just so nice. Oh, stop it. Anyway, so another thing about rigging is that a lot of it is actually based on shape keys. So when you see some of the big rigs in Disney or any other of those programs, and you see, oh my goodness, they have these amazing, oh my goodness, that isn't oh my goodness. And you see these amazing characters that look gorgeous and everything. They actually don't spend as much time on weight painting as they do on shape keys or blend shapes. And so what's an example of that? Well, I actually have one on the head, I believe. So if we go down here, you can see down here, I've got a number of shape keys that have been created and already added. So what these shape keys do is they're activated whenever a control is going in a certain direction. So for example, if I was to take the head and lean it forward, or is it backwards? That's strange. It should be working this way. Hold on. Huh. My shape key should be activating. It's odd. Let me see. Oh yeah, did my shape keys get messed up? Hold on. Oh no, here it is. So when I have my look at forward, my shape keys operate that way. It's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. But I'm just gonna set a key and have it go back down because I can. Ah, that explains it. So the reason why it's not looking the way I want it is because it's not going as far as I want. So in order to fix that, let me see, will Blender even see this? Let me see. Let me go ahead and just open up another thing here. Graph editor, drivers, here we are. So what we want to do is go to the drivers here. And so the driver here is not working the way I want it. So go down here, ba da ba da ba. So here it is. So in reality, this here should be up here. So what we can do to fix that is if I'm holding shift to control, I can manually adjust it to the way I want it. And I can keep going and going until I set my value to 10. So now it's at 10 at the place I want it to be. Now it should. Oh my word. Now that just looks worse. Maybe this is just a bad shape key. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you make something, you think it's great, and then you look at it later and you go, oh my goodness, what was that? Let me undo that. I'll probably have to resculpt that later. This is how it looks without it. Oh, now I remember, I think. Yeah, let me see. The settings of these bones have bendy bones. And sometimes they'll have bendy bones in them. Oh, wait, is this this is the meta rig. What am I doing? That looks better. That's more like I want it. So another thing. In Rigify, when you rigify your bones, you have these things called bendy bones. And when you add more bend to it, it does that. It gives you more segments to bend down. And it's good, it's great. It's just sometimes you don't need it. Like on the neck or the head. That's how I see it. No, I'm not giving a good explanation, but one of these days I might explain it further. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. I am just a guy. All right, let's see if we can fix this neck. All right, so that's there. Let me see. All right, I'm going to get rid of this. Don't want you anymore. Normalize. Okay. Hold on. Let's try that again. Normalize. No. Okay. Oh, that might be because of the shape key. Let me see. No, not the shape key. It's just some weighting issues. That's another frustrating thing. In Blender, at least in my experience, and I don't have a lot. I mean, I've used Blender for about 4 or 5 years, but I haven't been rigging professionally. I've just been derping around and learning stuff. I spent some time actually trying to learn how to use the Blender game engine for a while, and that was a wild ride. I only got so far with watching, it's not CG Cookie, it was a different YouTube channel. Trying to understand, why is that weighting doing that? Is it affected by the head? No, not the head. Maybe I can do something about this here. That's better. We like that. That is much nicer. Yep. Save that. And save another because we can. And it's always good to do that. I hope I'm not peaking my audio. This is my first video. It is February 8th, 2023. I just want to know if I can do something here. Let me see. Oh, it's locked. Pfft, no wonder. The spine's locked. So naturally, if the spine is locked, it means you can't do anything with it. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this and we're going to try to see if I can I copy this weight over? You know a little trick you can do, sometimes if you want one weight to be somewhere else on your bones, you can actually rename the vertex groups and it'll work. For example, I'll take this, I'll say it's spine 2A, and then I'll set this to spine 02, and then I can take this and put it to spine 3, and now your weights were transferred the way you wanted it. And now our vertex group, our shape keys here are actually looking better. Not the way I want it, but it's better. It's Snickers, it's better. You're not you when you're hungry. I'm such a dad. Shout out to my dads out there. I'm not a dad yet. I need to get married before then. I love dads. Do you guys like dads? I love my dad. Not perfect, but I love my dad. You guys ever have a fun time with your dads? Any good, fond memories? I remember when I was a kid, we used to play this game called King of the Couch every Friday night. And so Dad would always do that as a means to get my brother and I to calm down, I believe. It is my personal belief. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can fix this blend key, this blend shape. First, go back. So something you might notice is you're wondering, hey, why are these shapes stupid? Why is it always snapping? And it's because Blender's stupid. So what you need to do in order to get that to move this is you hit Control and Control Shift, and it allows you to move these keys in increments. It's a bit of a cheat, but hey, that's what we do here. We cheat. We don't care how we get there, we care that we do. Oh, you know, I think it might be a weighting issue that got us to here. Yeah, it might be a weighting issue. But you know what? What's great about shape keys is they're easier to fix. I'm just going to smooth this out. So I made sure to have the neck shape key selected. Oh, his neck gets bigger. We can't have that. That neck's getting way too big. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just nudge this in a little bit more. So what I'm doing is I have my grease pencil tools add-on enabled, and what it does, it's got this feature where you can scrub through the timeline by holding Alt and middle click. You can see that right here, Alt and middle click. And this is for scrubbing through the timeline. And so it's always good if you're trying to check on a shape key, if it's working the way you want it, is to set a few keys to have it move in a direction you know it's going to move. And then you can Alt middle click and just go through that. It is very, very useful. All right, so going here to number 10, see that the neck's getting kind of thick down here. I'm gonna go to my draw part, my draw brush, and just bring it back a little and smooth it out every once in a while, and then go back again. And if you see that your keys aren't, your stuff's working a little strange here, and if it looks like the key is animating strangely between, what you can also do is go back here grab the keys and finagle with them. You can actually zoom in, and when you zoom in and you hit G Control Shift, is you can actually dial in how that works. You can actually dial in your placement of the keys more thoroughly. So I got it so where the keys are moving in a little too fast. So what I'm going to do is pull it back a bit. And if you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see that the driver is between 0.993 and 1. So we want to have it so where the difference is as little as possible. And so I'm going to put it here. And now let's see how it animates. And now the driver looks much better. The driver looks much more natural as it's going through the change in place. There's still some finickiness going on, but it looks far better than it did previously. So what I think I'll do is I'll actually go ahead and use the grab brush and nudge this up a little more. And another thing is when you're making shape keys, don't worry about making them perfect. Worry about making them good enough. You want them to do the job. In the art world, in the entertainment world, believe it or not, people are fudging it as much as everyone else is. Artists are still doing the jobs and they're doing them as best as they can. However, they're still just trying to do what they can, and sometimes their shots are just fudging it to high heaven. So for now, I think this will be fine. May or may not use it, but you know, the only one who's really going to notice is the artist. The artist is the only one who's really going to notice this very much. Sure, some audience members will notice, but there comes a point where you just got to go, all right, I need to keep going and make the project better. So I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that be. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the animation here. And zero out the transforms. All right, so one thing, I'm gonna get it started before I leave you all for the day. One thing I've been really struggling with on this rig is working on the shape keys for this shirt, for the shoulders. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna turn on auto keying. I've set the shortcut to Shift R. It's really nice. And I'm going to go ahead and select them both, insert a key, and go to around, set it to, could I have it set to local? So around there. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set it, hold on, what do I set that to? You know what? Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Set it to x-axis, right about here. And then down here, back again. So we got some weighting issues here. Not a problem. We can go ahead and go through our weight editor. I think I can get rid of you now. Ugh. Also, make sure you get up and stand and stretch and crack your back and every bone in your body every once in a while, because you know this work takes a long time. So anyway, so let me see. So okay, so let me see. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to go ahead and select everything around here. And I'm going to go to weights and smooth. So what this is doing is I'm trying to smooth the weights between the collar and the torso. So what I think I'll do now actually is I'll go ahead and just select them in the middle here, and just the ones around the collar. Try to keep it like that. Don't worry about being a perfectionist, just make sure you get the generals. And I have these set to my favorites too, with the Q button. Hit it to smooth, set the factor to 100, and I want it to expand. I want it to contract a little. Just play with the settings, see what you like. I'm going to do a few iterations of that. That looks much better now. Much better. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and hit everything. Select the blur tool. I have that shortcut set to B. And just make sure I get these parts everywhere. And it's, do you need to? Not necessarily always. It's just nice and pretty to do it that way. Now let's see. That looks better. That looks much better. I might not even have a problem anymore. That actually probably solved my problem. Let me see. Are you on? Let's turn you off. So let's turn this hotkey off. Oh my goodness, that actually solved my problem. I am so happy. You don't get it, but I actually been really struggling with getting the shape keys for the shoulders to work just right. And now I just got it solved. Wow, that's awesome. And sometimes that's how a problem is solved. Solved by accident. I guess I have something to thank you guys for. Even though none of you know who I am and all that wonderful stuff. So let me see. That can be difficult. That's because I can. Now it's nice to check and see how the weighting looks, and sometimes it looks a little schmoopy, kind of. So what you can do is try to smooth it out more. See if it looks less schmoopy. I know that's a weird word to use, but I couldn't really think of anything else. Ah, alright, so it's on the shoulder, and sometimes you just have to go through it. Okay. Let me just go to the shoulders now. Let me see. Ah! That'll do it. So I actually think I want to leave this section alone because it really helped fix the... Hold on, though. Let me see. How does it look if I just do it this way? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let me see. And this, everyone, is why we save again. It's 5. I need to have dinner soon. What you can do, though, is... What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to select here, which is set to W. Select everything here. See, all right, perfect. It selects everything in the back too. I'm gonna set the weights to 0. Do I have this on? Yes, we do. I'm gonna hit auto normalize because we want that. Normalize all. Auto normalize is on again. All right, now this is fine. I think. I don't know anymore. Why are we so difficult? You know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select the line right here. And I am going to go smooth. I'll try to smooth this out. No, I'll do these lines. Let's see. That looks better. My effect question is how will it affect one of the shoulders? As you see, that one in the back looks like it's a little higher than in others, but it might be me. No, it does look like it. Let me just try to smooth that. All right, reduce the iterations. All right, now let's see what happens when we do one of them. I don't like that. I do not like it. You know what, here. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna see if readjusting the bones here will make a difference. And whenever you're readjusting bones in Rigify, always make sure that you got the mirror applied. It just makes everything easier. generate. And does this work better? It does. It does. It looks better. It's still not perfect, but it looks much better. And let me see how. And let's animate these real quick. All right, and you may be wondering, oh, the controls are so big. What's wonderful is you can go into the viewport display of these individual bones, and you can rescale them to be as big or small as you want. You can reposition them. And so you don't have to worry so much about how big they are, so long as they do the job. And so, yeah, that'll be it for now. I'll come over sometime and record another video and show you some more of my animation progress. I mean, can't promise it's going to be of the same stuff, whether it's rigging or modeling or animating or what have you, but I just thought I'd start making videos about stuff I'm animating, stuff I do for art. And yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm Nathan Batchelor, and I'm the Average Animator. You guys take care, all right? God bless.